Hello, I'm just making this video because I want to talk about cold calling and an idea I've had as to how we can potentially do something about getting the companies and individuals that do this properly reported so that the regulators can actually take action against them. My background is I actually own and operate a claims management company, and I've even had examples where I've had people ring up complaining to me that we've cold called them, and when we've looked into it, we know nothing about them. I mean, we don't cold call people anyway, but it's a situation where there's been people making cold calls that then give the name of sort of known or reputable companies as a way of trying to sort of give themselves some credibility. So you get sort of genuine companies sort of dragged into the mire with this. And obviously it's just allowing plenty of scumbags to get away with making people's lives a nuisance. So I've had an idea, and I'd like this to be made public knowledge, and hopefully newspapers, MPs and other people in positions of authority can get behind this idea and work with the regulators to see if something can be implemented here. In my mind, one of the sort of biggest problems is that actually reporting the companies that do this is a bit of a pain in the backside, because I would guess, myself included, what a lot of people do when they get a cold call is just either hang up or exchange a few expletives before hanging up, and then nothing's then done about it. You just curse the fact that the call has happened, but then if nobody complains about it, then nothing can be done to bring the scumbags to justice that do this, and to get them fined, shut down, etc. So my idea is to put in place some form of ability to report the calls sort of pretty much there and then, and it pretty much is a case of, we're all familiar with things like 1471. If you've missed a call on your landline and want to know who's rang when you're out, then you dialed 1471. It'll give you the number of the last person that called. So clearly there's technology there that allows phone systems and operators to track what number called you last. So why can't we have a situation where there's a designated 4-digit number, whatever that combination numbers will be, for example 1, 2, 3, 4, that if you receive a cold call, providing that you've already registered with the telephone preference service, so that these people shouldn't be calling you because your name is on the list of people that don't want to be called, and that they've got no valid reason to be calling you, then if you receive a cold call, then you simply, when that call has ended, you dial this 4-digit number, and what that then does is actually collate the information as to what your phone number is, when the call was received, who it was received from, and it just then pings that information straight through to the Information Commissioner's office, or the whatever regulator needs to be involved with this process. And all that then does is actually it builds up evidence as to who's making the calls to who, and it just gives direct evidence straight away to the regulator, so they can go and kick the doors in on these people and fine them and turn the lights out. And I'm sure that this is something that could be easily adopted. There obviously needs to be collaboration between the various telephone service providers, both for landlines and mobiles. But come on, guys, something can be done about this. And if they weren't interested in doing something about it, then frankly I'd just question whether or not are they just happier taking the money for the calls being made by the cold callers who are dialing millions of numbers a day, that the phone operators happy to sort of turn a blind eye to this sort of murky situation by making money off the calls that are happening in the first place. So I think it's time something was done about it. The government obviously are trying to crack this down and banning cold calls, but it necessarily isn't going to stop a small number of them still happening. And until that happens, well, why can't we just get the evidence together to show who's doing it, where and when, and then hand it over to the authorities and they can do something about it. So that's my idea. Hopefully this is something that can be built upon, worked with, and I hope it's something that can succeed for the good of all. So yeah, let's get on with it.